Hello and welcome to BJJ News. In today's top stories, a local man dreams of being a BJJ YouTuber but struggles to actually upload videos. He's considering Vyvanse, and when contacted for comment, he said he'd record a video response, but it's been 3 weeks and no such response has yet been received. Next, this man is an absolute stud. And I want to be clear, even were I not obligated to say so by the arcane vagaries of contract law and other such like, this is nonetheless a truth that I would shout from the very rooftops. Oh, hey there. I was just doing something meaningfully important, but I'll let you know while I'm here that today's video is brought to you by my OnlyFans, and they are, of course, my mum and my wife. Shout outs to you both. Now then, today's main story, as we dispense entirely with the notion that this is actually in any way a news program: injuries. Are they good, and should you get one? Let's dive in with some footage, but brace yourself, this footage, or should I say leggage, is quite harrowing. So to the best of my recollection, we'd been learning a particular guard pass, and now we're rolling passes with pretty light resistance, and pop, there goes my knee. Now, I know what you're thinking, that violent thug on top of me in the black gi, we call him Mushroom, what he did was disgusting. Now let's take a quick look on another angle. On this angle, you can see that my foot does get kind of hooked a little bit, but still we're going really light and there's no obvious moment of injury. Yet I felt the pop, and you can see me rolling around giving a performance worthy of a penalty-seeking soccer player. Mushroom's only crime, of course, is rolling with someone who has paper for knees. My legs are all sorts of jacked up. Not only is this not my first meniscal tear, I also have plantar fasciitis, which contributes to these tears and gives me nasty cramps in my feet. Fun times. In retrospect, it's a bit embarrassing. The sudden pop and pain made me think I'd done some serious damage. But it was just a meniscal tear. It hurt, but I walked out of there unaided. Embarrassing, but also grand. Now, welcome to Vulnerable Corner. Breathing like a banshee when you think you broke your leg, only to walk out of the gym is embarrassing. Though I will say it was a very manly spring. It had a certain bass to it. It was more a loud grunt, really. Nah, you know what? I can't do it. ChatGPT says vulnerability is endearing. So let's be real a moment. I'm not bulletproof. I know this channel with its limited uploads might have made me seem invincible, but I'm not. I gasp. Avoid pain. Far from the line in the sea of sharks and you're not in the ocean or whatever they say, I actually have a strong aversion to bits of my body suddenly being reformed in inconvenient and painful ways. I'm a big wuss, a softie. I'm not made of the tough stuff. When God was handing out heart, I said, no thanks. An occasional rest round sounds pretty good to me. I'm weak. Beta. When there's a spider in my house, the wife puts it out. Not sure what the point of any of that was, but it sure was like liberating or something. And more importantly, vulnerable. So I injured myself. Apart from the fact I'm soft, what can we learn from this? Not a lot, probably, but you already knew not a lot, didn't you? The lofty responsibility of making slightly more sense of it all than that falls upon this white belt, but nonetheless, worldly shoulders. Just please don't ask me why I'm wearing a belt around my shoulders. A figurative belt around my... It doesn't matter. I don't recommend thinking of injuries as something that may happen in BJJ. That's like saying you might see a fighter walking out to Thunderstruck in Australia or to lose yourself anywhere else in the world. It's really not if, it's kind of when. That said, there are absolutely things you can do to minimize your chances of injury or of listening to Thunderstruck or lose yourself. But be warned, most of the injury prevention stuff is boring and hard work. Though a little less hard work than getting beyond 3 minutes of a video of mine if my analytics are anything to go by. Cue drum fill. For more on boring things that I'd rather not do, we'll talk to Luke from Mixed Osteo a little bit later in the video. First though, let's look at how Coach Jamie responds to my injury. I don't know why I'm doing inverted commas, it's a legit injury, but anyway. I've seen a few different coaches over the years do this now, and it makes sense. When someone hits the deck screaming, divert everyone away from the injured person. I assume because the last thing you need when you're in pain is a bunch of people gawking at you or whatever. Not me though, this got more views than my videos. I love being the center of attention. Next time, Jamie, please call everyone in and say, "Ooh, look at him squirm," or something. The presence of a calm coach when you come a cropper is medicine in of itself, and Jamie is great at this. Someone once told me this analogy. If you're drowning, you don't want someone on the side of the river freaking out about the situation you're in. They might just jump in with you and end up getting you both killed. You want a calm and reassuring presence that can stand at the side of the river and reason through the best response, like reaching out with a stick and using it to get you out safely without placing themselves at risk. So a tip, even if you are freaking the heck out about the state the other person is in, and believe me, I've been there, see my BJJ confession video for more on that, if you can, fake being calm. It will help the injured party stay calm too. Probably, hopefully, maybe. If you're like me, you're probably thinking, no, I could never do that. And I'm here to happily inform you that if the injury is severe enough, like a mangled leg, you won't need to. Adrenaline is going to do the job of keeping you calm for you while you tend to the injured party. Oh, you're still going to freak out, but that party is going to feel like a passenger, an observer to the very calm, emotionless person doing what they must. Probably, so relax, or don't. I won't, ever. Injuring someone is always horrible. We know that there's no intent to harm, but on the rare occasion it happens, I always feel the need to apologize profusely. Most people respond much as I would with, "It happens, it's in the game, you didn't mean to." Unless someone was exceedingly careless, that is the only right response as far as I'm concerned. If you find that this stuff is happening a lot though, and people aren't being chill about something that's essentially inevitable, then I'd probably be having a think about the culture of my gym, but that's a subject for another video I'll probably be too lazy or scattered to actually end up making. All right, let's go to Luke Smith at Mixed Osteo. Now, if you know Luke, he needs no introduction because introducing people to people who already know them is redundant.
What's your background in Jiu-Jitsu?
My background in Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Jamie Murray, been training since 2012. Trained mostly at Renegade. Been Renegade the whole time, and then training at AET as well. So we got a black belt from Jamie and then us, Damon too, and John Mirabella from Renegade and AET. Used to compete a fair bit. From blue and purple and brown belt, and since COVID, haven't been competing much in injuries and starting to get back into it these days.
What came first, osteo or jiu-jitsu?
No, I did. I started to do osteo first, and then one of my friends who I hadn't seen in years was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I didn't know what it was. We were both overweight, fat bastards. So, was like, what's he doing on it? Like, what's this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu thing? I need to do that. So came down to the birthday, Renegade's first birthday, and did Jiu-Jitsu. Got beat up by John and Jamie. It was like, every weight I've lifted is useless, so I need to learn this.
How does your combat sports background aid you in providing rehab to combat sports injuries?
Yeah, it definitely helps, obviously, understanding of the injuries and positions and stuff. So like looking at the positions, or you come in like, oh yeah, I was in reverse De La Riva, try and invert whatever, kiss of the dragon sort of sweep, and you say that to a normal person and they're like, what the hell was that? Just stop doing that. Whereas I can look at the position, figure out like the mechanics of what's going wrong in that, and try and either fix that or help you with strategies and staying on the mat and still training but within a limited capacity, or giving you options of what you can do, whereas other side of practitioners don't have the understanding or the knowledge to do that, and they usually just tell you to not do anything, which I find a lot of people are scared who like to do high-level sport of going to see one, because most of the time they get told not to do anything, or like you're off the mat sort of thing, like until this is better, or 6, 12, whatever, 3, 6 months, depending on the injury.
Among the various treatment options available, why is an osteopath a good choice for injury rehab?
Osteos are more like holistic in their approach, so we look at the whole body. Here at Mixed Osteo is a little bit different, kind of look at how your biomechanics sort of work, so usually we look at how people walk and stuff to get a general overview, and then look at the rest of their body, back, neck, shoulders, see how that's moving, and then looking at the specific area and positions or like mechanics of what's causing them pain. So if it's in jiu-jitsu, like getting pain like half guard when they're posting on the shoulder, or certain things in their knees when they're like on top kneeling and stuff, and looking at those positions and specifically seeing what's wrong in that and trying to help heal or make the movement better or smoother without causing the injury to aggravate still. And
Can you provide a general overview of the type of clientele you work with?
Obviously Renegade MMA, I see everyone from here pretty much. You need to get downstairs, come upstairs, work a lot with the guys at Resilience, with Dan, who's the Australian judo coach. So I see a lot of his guys from CrossFitters, Jiu-Jitsu, the MMA guys, and I guess Cal Potter's a coach there too, who I used to work with. We was as a fighter at a Renegade, so I used to work with him a lot. Guys at Combat One I work with a lot, so I do strength conditioning with a couple of the current fighters, and help them with nutrition and keep them injury free. Also from like Australian Elite team, and then other jiu-jitsu gyms from around Melbourne. People find me online that got jiu-jitsu injuries, or on Instagram, and come to see me too. Yeah, and then some UFC fighters, some judo Olympians, and different stuff like that. Some champions of different organisations like Hex and whatever else.
What are some signs that you might need an osteo for your injury?
It depends. Like a lot of people are pretty tough in jiu-jitsu, but usually if you've done nothing, well, if it hasn't got any better within like a week or like a couple of days and it's getting worse, then you should probably see somebody, come see an osteo. If you can do something straight away, we can see like the next day and like have a look at it and give you like strategies and progression straight away and start things, the ball rolling. So usually like doing rehab early is the best sort of thing. So the quicker you get in, the better like the results are usually going to be. But then also most people, it's like wait a week or two, see if it's not getting any better, then come in. Don't put up with it for months, even though people tend to do that. If it's just like a mild niggling injury, like wait months and months and then it gets worse and they're like, oh, I need to see you. And then your whole body movements is all messed up and it takes a lot longer to get better. So usually if you're injured, the sooner you come in, the quicker it gets better.
Where can people find Mixed Osteo?
Hit us up at like mixedosteo.com.au. You can book online there, or on our Instagram page, I guess, at Mixed Osteo. Just at Mixed Osteo. Located in Kensington, 92 Parsons Street, just above Renegade MMA, next to brewery, in some people's location of it.
What exactly happened to my knee?
What you did to your knee, you tore your medial meniscus slightly, because your ankles and hips are very tight, and so you require to go through a lot more motion in your knee when you're doing jiu-jitsu, which puts on below your knee, so it's under more stress and it's more likely to get injured. So that's like most of your stretches and rehab are based around getting your hips and ankles moving better. That seems to help your knee get a little load off your knee a bit.
In conclusion, no. Generally, BJJ injuries aren't good, and where possible, you should avoid them. Injuries are a part of BJJ though. They're going to happen, but there are ways to minimize their likelihood and rehab them more quickly when they do happen. The reality is that for many of us, BJJ is far better medicine than it is a source of grief. I'm fairly mentally ill. I hate myself and everything else. And despite my considerable privilege and lack of any real suffering beyond workaday mundane crap, I'm nonetheless broken up by some of the ish that I've had to live through. Well, admitting that was certainly cathartic, but what was the point? Yes, Jiu-Jitsu is a fickle mistress. It's great for what ails my brain, a way to turn it all off, to get lost in the non-time of sweaty meditation. All I know is that when I jump on my motorcycle, sweaty and sore after a hard session, put on some drill music and have a nice peaceful ride home with my thoughts, I'm not thinking about whether or not I consented to this existence or if I want to be here. I'm in the moment, high on all the good stuff that comes from hard physical exertion and on top of the world. Let's face it, if we wanted to spend our time doing easy things, we'd probably have picked something other than jiu-jitsu. In the face of it, one might ask why we do it. Just for a medal down the local PCYC? I mean, I may never even compete if I'm totally honest. It's not currently what motivates me. It's often just about feeling like I'm getting meaningfully better at something difficult that might help undo at least some of the damage I've done to my body over the years. Just a way to not keep too still. Now, I'd like to very pretentiously close here with some Khalil Gibran. He's a poet, or was, before he was a dead guy. Check out some of what Khalil says here about love, but substitute love for jiu-jitsu. I know many of you already do regularly anyway, unlike Khalil here, who from the sounds of his poetry was probably beating them off with a stick. He says, "When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to him, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you." Shout outs to pinions. "And when he speaks to you, believe in him, though his voice may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste to the garden. Even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun," shout out to the tender branches just quivering away in that hot midday sun, "so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth." And then later he says, "But if in your fear you would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, then it is better for you that you cover your nakedness and pass out of love's threshing floor into the seasonless world where you may laugh, but not all of your laughter, and you may weep, but not all of your tears." No, please, I want to cry all of my tears. More sensibly, we could always not love, not do jiu-jitsu, and then we wouldn't be hurt. But then we'd also miss all of the joy that comes with the struggle of love. I'm sorry, I meant jiu-jitsu, ignore that, wifey. Where was I? Where else? That's right, where else am I going to find happiness outside of choking people out, or more often, getting choked out? Also, I kind of suspect that much like riding a motorcycle, the fact that it feels dangerous on some level is part of the appeal. Now, because I take forever to make my videos, I can happily report that I'm back to training at pretty much full intensity. The knee is holding up and I'm loving it. I give huge credit to Luke Smith for this, and I want to be clear, this video isn't an ad. I pay for my appointments like anyone else, and his stuff really works, so I'm pretty happy to make that known. His rehab has really helped me get back on the mat quicker. He's also told me that my issues were likely caused by sitting around a bit too much while working during the day. So I've gotten out the old standing desk, cranked it up, and along with the rehab, my legs feel the best they have in ages. They feel feel secure enough under me to even flirt with some standing passing. My plantar fasciitis has almost completely disappeared, and considering I needed to drink stupid amounts of water before class to not cramp out prior to this, I can now get away with much less and only pee once a class rather than 2 or 3 times. Huzzah, what an improvement. I should have listened to my podiatrist, shout outs to you, Mark, when he told me to stand up more 2 tears ago. So I guess this is one time where the meme might actually be good advice. Just stand up. I'm still going to pull guard though. Bye. If you're still here, you're a masochist. And I appreciate you. Bye.